also seeing significant promise with FSD version 12. This is the end-to-end AI where it's photon count in, controls out. Or really you can think of it as there's just a large bit stream coming in and a tiny bit stream going out. Compressing reality into a very small set of outputs, which is actually kind of how humans work. The vast majority of human data input is optics from our eyes. And so we are, like the car, photons in, controls out, with neural nets, just neural nets in the middle. It's very interesting to think about that. We will continue to invest significantly in AI development, as this is really the massive game changer. And I mean, success in this regard, in the long term, I think has the potential to make Tesla the most valuable company in the world by far. If you have fully autonomous cars at scale and fully autonomous humanoid robots that are truly useful.
Trevor is very pleased with how you're getting. So pleased.
Regarding energy storage, we deployed 4 gigawatt hours of energy of storage products in Q3.
Well, he's very happy, and trust me.
And as this business grows, the energy division is becoming our highest margin business. Energy and service now contribute over $500 million to quarterly profit.
But he's got a gentler side.
The Cybertruck, I know a lot of people are excited about the Cybertruck.
Anyway,
I am too. I've driven the car, it's an amazing product.
Who likes animals and
I do want to emphasize that there will be enormous challenges in reaching volume production with the Cybertruck, and then in making the Cybertruck cash flow positive. This is simply normal for when you've got a product with a lot of new technology, or any brand new vehicle program, especially one that is as different and advanced as the Cybertruck, you will have problems proportionate to how many new things you're trying to solve at scale. So I just want to emphasize that while I think this is potentially our best product ever, and I think it is our best product ever, it is going to require immense work to reach volume production and be cash flow positive at a price that people can afford. Often people do not understand what is truly hard. That's why I say prototypes are easy, production is hard. People think it's the idea, or you make a prototype, you design a car, and it's not as though designing a car is just anyone can do it. It does require taste, it does require effort to design a prototype. But the difficulty of going from a prototype to volume production is like 10,000% harder to get to volume production than to make the prototype in the first place. And then it is even harder than that to reach positive cash flow. That is why there have not been new car startups that have been successful for 100 years, apart from Tesla. So, I just want to temper expectations for Cybertruck. It's a great product, but financially, it will take a year to 18 months before it is a significant positive cash flow contributor. I wish there was some way to set these up, but that's my best guess.
What? You don't have the details now? What? How's that make us look? Not very professional, though.
The demand is off the charts. We have over 1 million people who reserve the car. So it's not a demand issue. We have to make it. We need to make it at a price that we can afford. It's insanely difficult. In conclusion, we continue to focus on ramping production while maintaining positive cash flow, and we continue to target expecting to have around 1.8 million vehicle deliveries as being earlier this year. The Tesla AI team is, I think, one of the world's best, and I think it is actually by far the world's best when it comes to real-world AI. I'll say that again. Tesla has the best real-world AI team on Earth, period. And it's getting better. And lastly, I wanted to thank all of our employees for making a lot of extra effort during uncertain times. Thank you very much for your hard work and the impact that you're making.
Thank you very much, Elon. And
that's a no Zach earnings call for you. Let's do questions now.
The vehicle deliveries in Q3 outpaced production, and we had yet another record quarter of energy bill. Congratulations to the Tesla team for their continued focus on operational excellence as we navigate through a period of economic uncertainty, higher interest rates, and shifting consumer sentiment. As Elon mentioned, our Q3 operational and financial performance was impacted by planned downtimes for our factory upgrades.
Here's your new CFO.
To allow for further factory improvements and production rate increases. Despite such factory shutdowns, our cost per vehicle decreased to approximately $37,500. We saw sequential decreases in material costs and freight. Reducing the cost of our vehicles is our top priority. On the operating expenses front, R&D expenses continue to rise due to Cybertruck prototype builds and pilot production testing, combined with spend on AI technologies like full self-driving, Optimus, and Dojo. We have and will continue to make investments in these areas, and hence our capital expenditure and R&D will continue to grow in the near term. However, our focus is to continue making investments through positive cash flow from operations. This year itself, we have generated operating cash flows of approximately $8.9 billion and free cash flows of approximately $2.3 billion. Our other businesses are becoming more dominant on a standalone basis, with energy business leading the charge primarily from the growth in megabyte deployment. Our services and other businesses on a year-on-year basis also continue to show positive momentum as we benefit from our growing fleet. As regards our pricing strategy, in addition to what we have shared before, I want to elaborate that most car buying happens with one or other form of financing, and hence we also view pricing in terms of monthly costs for the customer. And therefore, as interest costs in the U.S. have risen substantially, it has required us to adjust the price of our vehicles to keep the monthly cost in parity. We try to offset such adjustments via our focus on reducing costs. However, there is an inherent lag in cost reductions, which in turn impacts margin. To that extent, we recently announced a partner vehicle leasing program in the U.S., whereby you can get a standard range Model Y for as low as $399 a month. In conclusion, as we navigate through a challenging economic environment, we're focused on reducing costs, maximizing delivery volumes, and continuing making investments in the future, in particular AI and other next-generation platforms. We believe this strategy positions us well for the long term. Once again, I would like to thank the Tesla team for their efforts in the last quarter.
thank you very much. And now let's go to investor questions. The first investor question comes from Craig. How many Cybertruck deliveries do you anticipate for 2024?
Here we go.
It's difficult to make an accurate guess at this point. Going back to what I said earlier, that the ramp is going to be extremely difficult. Like I said, there's no way around that. If you try to make, if we just try to do some copycat vehicle design, of which there are literally 200 models that are slight variations on a theme in the combustion engine world, just distinctions without a difference, then it's really not that hard. But if you want to do something radical and innovative and something really special like the Cybertruck, it is extremely difficult because there's nothing to copy. You have to invent not just the car, but the way to make the car. So the more uncharted the territory, the less predictable the outcome. Now, I can say that if you say, well, where will things end up? I think we'll end up with roughly 250,000 Cybertrucks a year. But I don't think we're going to reach that output rate next year. I think we'll probably reach it sometime in 2025. That's my best guess.
Thank you. The second question is, can you provide a progress update on the 4680 cell, particularly progress towards performance improvements and cost savings outlined on Battery Day? Thank you.
Of course he didn't answer.
Sure thing, Martin. 4680 cell production in Texas increased 40% quarter over quarter. Congrats to the Texas team for producing their 20 million cell off of line 1. Texas is now our primary 4680 facility. We're heavily focused on quality. Scrap is down 40% quarter over quarter. With the increased volume and yield improvements, cell costs consistently improved month over month within the quarter, although we have a lot more work to do to achieve our steady state goals. And that is our priority. The Cybertruck cell, with 10% higher energy than our Model Y cell, started production on line 2 in Texas. This quarter, we convert to building 100% Cybertruck cells to simplify and focus the factory as we ramp all 4 lines in phase 1 over the next 3 quarters. Phase 2 of the Texas 4680 facility is currently under construction. The additional 4 lines incorporate further capital efficiencies over phase 1, and our target is for them to start producing in late 2024. Lastly, in Cato, we're retooling to enable large-scale pallet runs of our next-generation cell designs. Cato's long-term goal is to be the launch pad for new cells, 1 generation ahead of our mass production facilities, enabling faster iteration and smoother ramp-ups of new designs.
Thank you. The next question from institutional investors, could you please provide an update on capacity expansion plans for companies' factories in Berlin and Austin, and the opening schedule of Gigafactory in Mexico?
Berlin and Austin factory, the current priority is actually maximize the output from our existing lines by laser focus on efficiency improvements. As always, maintaining a high quality and reducing per unit cost will be as critical as growing production volume. For Mexico, we're working on infrastructure and factory design in parallel with the engineering development of the new production that will be manufactured there. That's all I can share for that.
Yeah, in Mexico, we're laying the groundwork to begin construction and doing all the long lead items. But I think we want to just get a sense for what the global economy is like before we go full tilt on the Mexico factory. I am worried about the high interest rate environment that we're in. I just can't emphasize enough that for the vast majority of people, buying a car is about the monthly payment. And as interest rates rise, the proportion of that monthly payment that's interest increases naturally. So if interest rates remain high or they go even higher, it's that much harder for people to buy the car so they can't afford it. And we are tracking, I believe, at this point for Model Y to be the best-selling car, not just in revenue, but in unit volume. If you compare that to other vehicles that are number 2 and number 3 and whatnot, they cost much less than our car. So, we're just hitting more large numbers situations here. I know people want us to advertise, and we are advertising. I think there is nothing to be gained on the advertising front. I don't think it's nothing. Informing people of a car that is great that they cannot afford really helps. So that is really the thing that must be sold to make the car affordable. Or, the average person can't buy it for any amount of money. But they simply can't afford it. They can't afford it. So this is a big deal.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is, when do you expect Model 3 Highland to be available in the US? I just wanted to address that unfortunately we don't answer product-related questions and timings on earnings calls, so let's go to the next one. Current sell-side consensus assumes that Tesla will deliver to 2024, representing 28% growth versus 2023 guidance. Is this growth rate achievable without any mass market launches in 2024? And when does Tesla expect to return to its 50% long-term CAGR?
Thanks for the question. When you look at 2024, there are a lot of moving pieces. Not just talking about what is happening in the macroeconomic environment. So we're focused on growing our volume in a very cost-efficient manner, and are carefully reviewing all our options, and we'll be able to provide a much more meaningful update at the next earnings call.
Yeah, and it's really getting obvious. It's not possible to have a compound growth rate forever, or you will exceed the massive universe. But I think we'll grow very rapidly, much faster than any other car company on Earth by far.
Thank you. Next question is, do you have an approximate timeline in mind for the robotaxi, driven or not driven? What excites you most about how this project is progressing?
Well, robotaxi is like necessarily not driven. I guess I'm very excited about our progress with autonomy. The end-to-end, nothing but nets, self-driving software is amazing. Yeah, it drives me all around Austin with no interventions. So, it's clearly the right move. It's really pretty amazing. And also with that same software approach will enable Optimus to do useful things, and enable Optimus to learn how to do things simply by looking. So, extremely exciting in the long term.
This shit might be over. You might be told that.
As I mentioned before, given that some calculators, number of people times productivity, you no longer have a constraint on people. Effectively, you've got a humanoid robot that can do as much as you like. Your economy is quite infinite. Infinite rules. That's the purpose of it. I don't think anyone's going to do anything better than Tesla, so I'm fine about that. Plus dynamics is impressive, but the robot lacks a brain. So like the Wizard of Oz, whatever. Yeah, lacks a brain. And then you also need to be able to design the humanoid robot, in such a way that it can be mass manufactured. And then at some point, the robots will manufacture the robots. Now it's reached to make sure that there's a good place to be in that future. And we're not a variant of the Terminator outcome. We're going to put a lot of effort into localized control of the humanoid robot. Anyone will be able to shut it off locally. And you can't change that, even if you, like a software update, you can't change that. It has to be hard-coded.
Thank you. The next question is, why was the price dropped on FSD if it is getting better and robotaxi is expected so soon?
Well, we just wanted to make it more affordable, so more people could try it. I think over time the price of the FSD will increase proportionate to its value. So I would regard the current price as a kind of a temporary low.
Thank you. The next question is again on FSD. Mercedes is accepting legal liability for when its level 3 autonomous driving system Drive Pilot is active. Is Tesla planning to accept legal liability for FSD?
Why the
And
fuck
if so,
is you
when?
sitting in the goddamn
No.
truck? Get your ass out.
There's a lot of people that assume we have legal liability. Judging by the votes, we're certainly not being left out off the hook on that front. So we'd like to do all the work like this. I mean, I think it's important to remember for everyone that the safety system is more than roads in Nevada and some certain cities in California that doesn't work in the snow or the fall. You don't have a heat car and march like 20 miles per hour. Our system is meant to be
You're a
holistic.
fucking idiot. You know that?
Drive in any conditions, so we
You
obviously
dumb
have
as
a
a
much
box
more
of
capable
fucking
approach,
rock.
but with those kind of limitations,
You know what? I ain't got time for this shit.
no, I think some people understand the profundity of
You're a
Tesla
fucking
AI.
idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Fucking idiot.
Maybe AGI.
Fucking idiot. I ain't got time for this stupid ass shit.
Artificial general intelligence.
Motherfucking time with you idiot.
The next question on Optimus. Will Optimus be working on Gigafactory lines next year? If
You better not
so, how
spawn
many
nowhere near me.
would you guess will be deployed?
Stupid.
I think at this point we
One fucking job to do. You can't fucking do
ready to
that,
discuss
dumb son of a bitch.
details of the Optimus program. But we will provide periodic updates online. So as you can see, where Optimus a year ago could barely walk, and now it can do yoga. So a few years from now, we'll probably do ballet.
Sounds good. And the last question from investors is, neural net path planning represents a significant advance in capability and safety for FSD. What steps is Tesla taking to make this technology available outside the US?
You're right there, you dumb
Yeah,
son
our
of a
approach
bitch.
has been to try to get it consistent. Like in all places, we try to make it work the highest possible. So the reason we don't do it in all countries simultaneously is that it would take much longer to make it work anywhere at all. That's why currently just America and also for most parts of the world, you have to get approval before deploying things. Whereas in the US, you can deploy
I hope they
things
spawn me
at
next
risk,
to your
or at
motherfucking
least
ass. You might as well
take
just turn your
liability for
PlayStation
deploying.
off.
So it's
Well, well, turn your PlayStation off and find you something else to do.
some sort of
Whole
extensive
new life, all
approval
that.
program. So we only want to go through that extensive approval program when we think it's kind of ready for prime time in that country. I apologize that it's not in those countries, but we keep finding ways to make it better, and it needs to drive. It needs to drive such that it exceeds the.
Man, fuck you, pussy. Boy, don't text me, you bitch, man. Boy, we got a problem.
Significantly exceeds the.
We already got a problem. Fuck, boy. Fuck you, pussy.
Significantly better.
Fuck you, testing me for you, bitch, man. Hoe.
Like we're tracking to that point very quickly.
Pussy, boy, don't fucking text me, you bitch, man. Pussy.
The reason I've been overly optimistic is that the progress tends to sort of look like a log curve, which is that you have rapid initial improvements, and then if you were to extrapolate that sort of rapid, fairly linear rate of improvement, you get to self-driving quite quickly, but then the rate of improvement curves over logarithmically and starts to asymptote. That's not happened several times. I would characterize that progress in normal AI as a series of stacked log curves. I think that is also true in other parts of AI, like LLMs and whatnot. A series of stacked log curves. slug gets higher than the last one. So if you keep stacking logs, eventually get to endless state.
Thank you. Let's now go to
You already got a problem. You got a
the
problem.
first question comes from Will Stein from Truist. Will, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Great. Thanks so much for taking my question, and thanks for all the updates today.
I don't want to be your friend either, bitch.
We learned earlier on the call, it sounds like you don't think the truck will ramp to significant volume until its third year of production. Should we have a similar anticipation for the ramp of the next-gen platform, or is there any reason that we should be maybe more optimistic or pessimistic about the ramp profile there? Thank you.
Then you stupid motherfuckers can't fucking do what the fuck you need to do. Dumb son of a bitch.
It's not really the third year of production. It's kind of like the 18th month of production is roughly.
Dumb son of a bitch. Good for nothing.
So
useful ass motherfucker. Do everything but what the fuck you need to or supposed to.
And gets to 2025.
Stupid.
Technically, there are 3 calendar years in there, but there's actually only 18 months, not 3 years. I would be very disappointed if it took us. And that would
always want to do something until it's time to do something. Then it's useful, good for nothing. Son of a bitch ain't worth shit. Just like your mammy.
To reach volume and reach prosperity with an immense. I can't tell you how much the blood, sweat, and tears level required to achieve that is just staggering. I've been through it many times. And then, here we go again.
Similar path for the next gen platform?
I mean, there's like unique complexity to Cybertruck. Yeah, I mean, Cybertruck is. Yeah, I mean, we dug our own grave with Cybertruck. You know, nobody. You know, internally, I thought nobody digs their grave better than themselves, and so, you know, it is. You know, Cybertruck is one of those special products that comes along only once in a long while. And special products that come along once in a long while are just incredibly difficult to bring to market, to reach volume, to be prosperous. It's fundamental to the nature of the newness. So now the sort of high volume, low cost, smaller vehicle is actually much more conventional. In terms of like the technologies we're putting into it, we didn't have to invent how to bend full hard stainless steel or have mega 9,000 ton castings or the largest hot stamping in the world or new high voltage, low voltage architectures. It's learning from everything we've done, so we hope it will ramp faster than the technology.
We also went through like a ruthless simplification exercise.
Yeah, we did. There's significantly less parts, and you're only as fast as the slowest part. If you have less of those, that means you could probably be faster. Yes, exactly. I mean, that said, it's still pretty revolutionary in how we're going to build it. It is. Yes, it's the manufacturing approach for the high volume small vehicle is revolutionary. Not revolutionary quite in the same way as the Cybertruck. I think it will be quite a fast ramp. So as Rod was saying, we're doing everything possible to simplify that vehicle in order to achieve a units per minute level that is unheard of in the auto industry.
Simplification makes it easier to automate, but also makes it lower cost. In terms of the lower cost.
Yeah. Just to speak there, it'll be cool, but it's transparent. It's not meant to be, full and magic. It's to get you from A to B. Like, it'll be so beautiful, but it's utilitarian. It's a utility.
Doesn't have 14 inches of travel at its suspension.
Yeah, as an example. Yeah. So, the Cybertruck has a lot of bells and whistles.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to Pierre Ferragut from New Street Research.
Hey, can you hear me fine? Yes?
Yes.
Hey, I have a follow-up question on FSD, the pricing and adoption. So I agree with you that as FSD fuel efficiency value increasing, but I guess like the ultimate value of FSD, which is to be able to handle like the robo taxi, is not going to necessarily interest everybody until you have a bit of a degraded version that would be like a chauffeur service where the car drives by itself, but you still have to be in the car and around, and then there is like the hands-on, eyes-on version of the service. And I guess, you know, there should be like much lower cost, lower features of kind of balance of the service that could have a very large penetration of your install base and more expensive one that would remain at a lower penetration level. So I'm just wondering if you're thinking that, and last but not least, like the simplest version of FSD are available and are going to work from a technical perspective, probably more like the ultimate robotaxi version can work if ever. And so I'm wondering how you take that into account in how you're thinking.
They're coming into their hangar, low-level base access traffic.
And whether you could evolve your pricing along that kind of tiers to increase adoption.
Yeah, I mean, for the autonomous vehicle, I think Pierre, you know, sort of the economics of a fully autonomous vehicle are truly astounding in a positive way. When you look at passenger vehicles today, they only get about 10 to 12 hours of usage per week. That's, you know, if you drive an hour and a half a day on average, that's roughly 10 hours a week out of 168 hours. And then there's also, you got to have parking and insurance. You got to take care of the car. It's like there's a lot of overhead.
This is not good.
I mean, yeah. It's like the economics of the system are just insanely positive. Given that the car, like all of the cars we're making and have made for a while, we believe are capable of full autonomy. So then if you're able to, say, increase the utility of that car by a factor of 5, which still only means that it's being used for maybe 50 hours a week out of 168. So you're still assuming that less than a third of the hours of the week is doing something useful. You've increased the value of that by 5, but it still costs the same. Like you have something, then we're a hardware company with software margins.
Pierre, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, I have actually a follow-up on a different topic for you, if that's okay. It's about like your gross margin in the quarter. Could you give us a sense of like in how the gross margin evolved sequentially? How much was the impact of idle costs? How much was like the sequential benefit, I imagine, of production ramping at Berlin and Austin? And then I saw like this massive jump in energy storage, very strong positive surprise. So if you can give us the background on that and tell us, you know, how we should think about that gross margin going forward.
Okay, thanks for that question. So in terms of, you have a few different aspects of your question. So if I just look at from Q3 perspective, you know, obviously factory idle time had an impact. It did impact by, I mean, I won't give you the exact percentage, but it had a decent impact for the quarter. And, you know, when you look at the other pieces which we're trying to do, we did see certain of our other factories ramping up pretty well, right? And they actually contributed pretty well to the margin for this quarter. In fact, one of the factories came pretty close to, in terms of per unit cost, to where we are for one of our other established factory, which is Fremont. So that was a positive in the quarter. And when it comes to energy margins, and that product has done well. I mean, on the cost curve also, we've been able to do a lot there. But I do want to caution that, megapack deployments are a bit lumpy. So yes, we had a great quarter this period, but depending upon where we are trying to deploy that product in different markets, you would see periods wherein there would be downward pressure on deployment because of us trying to get the product to that place where
product in transit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to Rod Lash from Wolf Research. Rod, feel free to unmute yourself.
Oh boy.
Thanks. Really nice to see the rate of vehicle cost improvement despite the downtime that you took. You've taken now about $2,000 out of the average vehicle cost over the past year. Can you give us maybe a sense of the rate of improvement that you see from the changes that you alluded to, the factory changes you alluded to? Is there a way maybe to convey the speed of improvement on your existing product from here? And then related to that, can you share the timing of your next gen, the lower priced product that you talked about earlier this year?
Yeah, so just in terms of product margins, there are lots of puts and takes when you look into this. There are certain things which we control, and there are certain things which we don't control. We expect that we'll get some benefits from our cost reduction efforts, which are all underway. But on the other hand, we just finished our factory upgrades late in Q3. Some of these factories are still in the early ramp phase in Q4. We're still not up to where we want those factories to be, so they'll impact in the near term. Plus, like Elon mentioned, we're going to be ramping Cybertruck, which is going to be another headwind which we'll be dealing with. On top of all the, there's overall uncertainty in the macroeconomic environment, which even makes it harder to predict precisely as to where we land. But yes, this is something which, it's an evolving thing which we're observing every day and reacting to it on a daily basis.
I would just say that on the cost reduction efforts, like we are unflagging in our pursuit of additional cost downs for 2024. We do have a good pipeline of them in work on both the engineering side and the factory operations side. And our intention is to maintain or exceed the trend that you saw. We're trying as hard as we possibly can. The timing of the next gen product, can you share that?
Not at this time.
Okay. And just as a follow-up, obviously price is also a driver of demand, but that's obviously not happening in a vacuum. And you mentioned that, I think you mentioned at some point during this call that you're also maybe hitting the law of large numbers on some of your products. Can you just share how you're thinking about price elasticity just at this point in this macro environment? And any thoughts along those lines?
I think that there's very significant price elasticity.
No!
I mean, to be totally frank, if our car costs the same
We're
as a
screwed!
RAV4, nobody would buy a RAV4. Or at least they're very unlikely to. It's worth noting that a lot of these incentives, like the tax credit and whatnot, but they're actually very difficult for the average person to access because most people do not have 10 grand, or even $7,500 burning a hole in their bank account. Large number of people are living paycheck to paycheck, and with a lot of debt, like credit card debt, mortgage debt. So yeah, that's reality for most people. It's sometimes difficult for people who are high income earners, and I'd say high would be like someone who's earning over $200,000 a year, to understand what life is like for someone who is earning $50 or $60 or $70,000 a year, which is most people. So they, like for a lot of people, like these tax credits just they can't run $7,500 for 18 months or even 6 months to get for the tax credit, and they actually don't in some cases even have that. Then I'm $7,500 in taxes. So so it's really just the vast majority of people is how much money do they have to pay immediately and how much per month. That's it. And you stop right there. And that part is still much more expensive than a RAV4 when you look at it that way.
One other thing to add, when you look at, car buying in general, we're trying to get to the next set of EV adapters.
Not an EV adapter, just
next.
Who wants a great car?
Exactly.
It's not a, sometimes you get these like, honestly, I'd say it's like somewhat correlates with the why doesn't everyone work from home crowd. I'm like, this is like some real Marie Antoinette vibes from people that say, why does everyone work from home? Like, what about all the people that have to come to the factory and fill the cars? What about all the people that have to go to the restaurant and make your food and deliver your food? It's like, what are you talking about? How detached from reality does the work from home crowd have to be? While they take advantage of all those who cannot work from home. So, you have to say, like, why did I sleep in the factory so many times? Because it mattered.
He's having a breakdown. Holy shit.
So I just can't emphasize how important cost is. It's not an optional thing for most people. It is a necessary thing. We have to make our cars more affordable so people can buy it. And I keep harping on this interest thing, but it just raises the cost of the car. We're looking at an internal analysis, which we think is more or less on track. That when you look at the cost or the price reductions we've made in, say, the Model Y, and you compare that to how much people's monthly payment has risen due to interest rates, the price of the Model Y is almost unchanged.
If you factor in the change in interest rates.
Yes, which is that's what I'm trying to say. The thing that matters is the monthly pay. It's how much money do they have to put down, and do they literally have that in their bank account, or will the check bounce? And then, what is the monthly payment? And it doesn't matter if that monthly payment is principal, interest, or whatever. It's just a number, and that number has to not cause their bank account to go negative. That's it. So, going from near zero interest rates to the current very high interest rates, the actual monthly payment is basically the same. It's just a bunch more of it is going to interest. And there are some incremental challenges beyond that, which is the difficulty of getting credit at all has increased. And so the number of people who simply cannot get credit, period. Even if they've got a job and everything's solid, the banks are, a little gun shy on handing out credit, given that a bunch of them kicked the bucket earlier this year.
There's also just fewer options, even if they hand out credit.
Fewer banks together. It's like, does your bank still exist? Yeah. Well, if your bank does not exist, you have to establish a relationship with a new bank. So a lot of regional banks are, died, and even Credit Suisse. Geez, that was a shocker. It's been a 160-year-old-ish Swiss institution that doesn't exist anymore. That's mind-blowing. And I think there's still quite a few shoes to drop on the bad credit situation. Commercial real estate obviously is in terrible shape. Credit card debt has been rising significantly. The credit card interest rates are usurious, going 20% interest rates, meaning which over time becomes obviously extremely punishing. Because if somebody's paying 20% interest on their credit cards, it means they cannot pay them off. Now, if you cannot pay them off and you're still accruing interest at 20%, that's headed to a bad place.
Thank you. Let's go to the next question from George from Canaccord.
Thank you for taking my question. Just to focus on the cost per vehicle, coming down in future quarters, as you discussed in your written remarks. I'm curious as to what the levers of that could be. Is it more scale, more factory utilization? Is it material cost reductions? Is it things like gigacasting? I mean, could you just kind of give us some data points to give us confidence that that's going to come down over time? And if I can sneak one in, please. There are press reports, and I know how perilous it is to believe some of these, but they say that you've included radar as an option in some Model Ys in China, and I'm just here to ask if that's true, and if so, why? Thank you.
We've not included radar. We have radar as a Tesla designed radar as an experiment in the Model S and X. That's it. We'll see whether that experiment is worth it. But there are no plans to integrate radar into 3 and Y. Just as humans drive well, and in fact, an excellent human driver can drive with amazing safety simply with their eyes. The car will far exceed the average human safety just with vision, far. Because the car is looking at all directions at once, and we don't have eyes in the back of our head. So, the computer never gets tired, and never gets distracted, get drunk, hopefully. So radar is, it's not. What really matters is how much does it affect the probability of an accident. And in order for the radar to be effective, you have to be able to do radar-only braking, or you have to do actions that are radar-only. Otherwise, you get this disambiguation problem.
I just tweeted this.
That's why we actually turned off the radar in cars historically that we had. All 3 and Y used to have radar, but we turned it off because the radar actually generated more noise than signal. Now, the Tesla designed radar is a high-resolution radar that has some potential to be useful, but the jury is still very much out on whether that is in fact the case.
On the cost question, I guess from the vehicle side, as Drew mentioned earlier, we are always trying to engineer our products to be cheaper to make and more efficient to make. That comes obviously on the engineering side as we come up with new innovations, but as well on the supply chain side with our partners. We work with them to automate some of their lines, remove their bottlenecks and their high costs as well. On the logistics side, getting parts to the factory. It's not. Go ahead. It's not like a one thing that you have to attack cost everywhere, and we do it ruthlessly at all times.
Operations efficiency, all of the above.
Yeah, I would say there's a whole laundry list of things which we are chasing. We internally call it the cost attack, where we're literally going line by line and saying, how can we make it better? And it's a grind.
It's a grind.
It's time.
Game of pennies.
It's a game
of pennies. It's like Game of Thrones, but pennies. First approximation, if you've got a $40,000 car, and roughly 10,000 items in that car, that means each thing on average costs $4. So in order to get the cost down, say by 10%, you have to get 40 cents out of each part on average. It is a game of pennies.
We play it willingly.
Yeah, we've done it many times, and
even something as simple as like a sticker. Like there's too many stickers internally in the car that nobody ever sees. There's something as simple as a QR code. You might think, well, putting a QR code on part, why not just put them on there? It's like, well, are we actually going to use that QR code? Also pending.
Bro.
Yeah, exactly. And
Move
then
on. Stop talking.
Sometimes the QR code doesn't go on properly, or you can't read it properly, and it stops the line. Freaking more than a penny. Yeah, absolutely. So it's chipping away with it. I mean, it is trying to. It does feel like digging a tunnel with a spoon at times.
Very much escaping prison.
Yeah.
On top of it, like we said, we did some factory upgrades, so we expect volume to go up. That would also bring some savings from higher production. But then on the flip side, we're going to be ramping a new product like Cybertruck, which we talked about. So, yeah, so those are the real puts and takes that we are working through.
Yeah, but there's not like some accidentally, some brick of gold that we shot from the car, unfortunately. And it's, we're trying to be very rigorous about improving the quality and capability of the car, because that's like any tool can reduce the cost of a car by making it worse. Deleting functionality and capability, and that's not hold this sort of any fool. It's like if you want to lose weight and you say, well, I need to lose 15 pounds right away. Well, you can chop your arm off, but then you're sitting there with one arm. You're still fat. so sort of like, I gotta work at it. Yeah.
They have no management at this company. Manage the damn call. What the hell is this?
Doctors, the folks. Yeah, it's fun. Super fun because food is delicious, and I personally am not a huge. I don't love working out. I know some people do. I wish I did, but I don't. Unless moving the mouse consists of working out, in which case I love moving the mouse.
All right, let's go to Colin Langham from Wells Fargo. Colin, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, sorry about that. You hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thanks for my question. You said in the commentary that you're not going full tilt on the plant in Mexico until there's signs that the economy is strong. Can you continue at a 50% CAGR without that plan? And where would that come from? And any color on what you mean sort of not going full tilt? Could that plant get delayed indefinitely? Or what are you kind of talking about?
No, we're definitely making the factory in Mexico. We feel very good about that. We put a lot of effort into looking at different locations, and we feel very good about that location. And we are going to build a factory there. And it's going to be great. The question is really just one of timing, and there's going to be a broken record on the interest front. It's just the interest rates have to come down. Like if interest rates keep rising, you just fundamentally reduce affordability. It is just the same as increasing the price of the car. So I just don't have visibility. So if you can tell me what the interest rates are, I can tell you when we should build the factory. We're going to build it. And I think we'll start the initial phases of construction next year. But I am still somewhat scarred by 2009 when General Motors and Chrysler went bankrupt. So, that's now 14 years ago. That is seared into my mind with a branding iron. Because Tesla was just hanging on by a thread during that entire time. We closed our financing around 2008 at 6 p.m. December 24th, Christmas Eve. And if we had not closed that financing round, we would have bounced payroll 2 days after Christmas. So we actually closed that round on the last hour of the last day that it was possible. Stressful, to say the least. And then barely made it through 2009. So I'm like, I want to just, I don't want to be going at top speed into uncertainty. A lot of wars going on in the world, obviously, as well.
In that room here, like in Tucson, Texas, you said we still have it in this building. It's not full with Cybertruck and MLY, and there's plenty of growth opportunities still to have inside the building or two more ideas.
We also have 2,000 acres.
There's also a bunch more.
We're actually only occupying a tiny corner of the land that we have. So, we could technically do all the scaling that's for just here. I mean, personnel is our biggest challenge in that the Greater Austin area only has, generously, the Greater Austin area only has 2 million people. So people are moving here, and they're willing to move here, but there is somewhat of a housing crisis. They got to live somewhere. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just curious. I'm not saying things will be bad. I'm just saying they might be, and I think Tesla is an incredibly capable ship, but it is. But we need to make sure, like, as the macroeconomic conditions are stormy, even the best ship is going to have tough times. The weaker ships will sink. We're not going to sink, but even a great ship in a storm has challenges. Now that storm will apply to everyone, not just us, and not just the auto industry. It apply to everyone, I think. So apart from necessary sort of staples like food and stuff, but so I don't know. If interest rates start coming down, we will accelerate.
All right.
I think that's good. Got any guesses on this? I'd love to be less wrong. And I apologize if I'm perhaps more paranoid than I should be, because that might also be the case, because I have PTSD from 2009, big time. And in 2017 through 19 were no picnic either. That was very, very tough going. So, the auto industry is also somewhat cyclic. Because people tend to hesitate to buy a new car, and if there's uncertainty in the economy. So it's, car companies do very well in good economic times, and they but don't do as well in tough economic times. So it's just, whereas if somebody's selling bread, then they just willing to cut the bread. Yeah, if you need for all the time. But new car, you don't have to have bread.
Especially if there's wars going on, and then that impacts your sentiment.
Yeah. People are reading about wars all over the world. Buying a new car tends to not be bottom line.
All right. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Thank you very much for all of your good questions, and we'll see you again in 3 months. Thank you very much.
What a disaster. What an SH9T show. I haven't seen an SH9T show this huge in a long time. I guess we should do a summary. I have one. Alright. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. Well, if there's anything to make you want to diversify from Tesla stock and invest in house hack, it was Elon the Bear on this earnings call. This was the least controlled and most disastrous earnings call I think I've ever heard from Tesla. Maybe because Zach isn't there to hold the reins in and actually monitor how this earnings call should go. The amount of nonsense and unnecessary commentary was fascinating, but also painful. At one point, Elon Musk almost breaking into tears about complaining about how work-from-homers are like Marie Antoinetters, let them eat cake, and he's sleeping on the floor of the factory to make his company succeed. It's very weird how that belongs in an earnings call. But a lot of this, I think, has to do with something that Elon implied but didn't say. So let's start with the implication first. And I'll tell you what he said in a moment. But first, I want to ask you, when did this quarter end? It ended the end of September, okay? Now, what I want you to do is look at the 10-year Treasury. And I want you to go to September 30th. Well, there's no 30th because the month ended on 29th for like the business week. The 10-year Treasury was 4.58%. It is currently 44 basis points higher. I think there's a chance, and this is not good, but I think there's a chance interest rates going up another nearly 0.5%, or almost the straw that broke Elon's back. Like, this is it. How many more times do we have to drop prices? Now rates go up even more. This is like peak fear Elon, if there's ever peak fear Elon. Now he complains that, hey, maybe he's just excessively paranoid because of 08, but, in 09. But if you look at the 10-year Treasury chart, he's had peak pain on interest rates in literally the last 3 weeks leading up to this earnings call. And here we go. You've got Elon basically crying on the earnings call. But at least Lauren made me milk and cookies. Come say hi. No, come on, at least say hi. Hi. There, she exists. This is amazing. Oh, that makes up for a red day on Tesla anyway. All right, so what do we got? Well, obviously the House Act, that's really good. House Act deadline on November 1st. So, what do we have for Tesla though? So, I saw a lot of people talking about how Elon seemed like he was intentionally complaining here. I think it's just a prelude to a really bad kind of potentially Q4 if rates stay this high. And the end of the year is supposed to be the good delivery. Now, they did reaffirm deliveries at 1.8 million, but they'll just cut prices even more if they have to make that happen. So, Elon did, talk up about how, hey, we're at 500 million miles on FSD, wanted to lower the price of FSD to make it more affordable for people. No, bullshit. People weren't buying it. People aren't buying it, then you lower the price, okay? It's simple. Talking about significant FSD progress, but unwinding some of his prior optimism, talking about how, hey, it was easy to make gains in the past. It was great. We were able to really crank gains in the past on FSD, but now it's slowing down. It's kind of that log curve where we're like, yay, big progress. Oh, now progress is going really slow. And that is true, that get to 95%, 0 to 95% is easier than getting from 95% to 100%. So I think that's creating some concern. Elon blatantly dodged how many Cybertrucks will be delivered this year. I think we'll be in like the tens or the dozens of Cybertrucks this year. Some people think it'll be hundreds. I think there's no way in hell. The event will be held on November 30th. I'm probably banned, but whatever. I probably shouldn't have tweeted a picture of Elon as a bear. I did do that. This is what he sounded like. He just sounded like a crying bear. So I wrote, great, leaked photo of Elon Musk on today's Tesla earnings call. Don't worry, everything is fine. Okay? Yeah. You're super bearish today. Purposefully dodged the question, just didn't answer the question about how many Cybertrucks they expect to be delivered this year. And I understand they probably don't know, because they probably don't know that they're going to deliver more than like 10. And they don't want to say that in the earnings call because they've already set it up. A lot of optimism, obviously, about artificial intelligence, about how eventually the Optimus can build the Optimus. 10,000 GPUs in production, probably the fastest company to ever do this. This is so great for artificial intelligence, for NVIDIA. I think companies, especially as rates come down, are going to keep flooding money into Tesla. Into artificial intelligence, including Tesla. I actually didn't think the earnings were that bad. Just to give you a high-level overview of the actual earnings report and the spreadsheet in terms of the summary. Really, free cash flow of $848 million, better than I expected. Reducing the cost of the vehicle. A lot of talk about slashing pennies. I mean, they got down to talking about how the QR codes are too expensive to put on because sometimes they wrinkle up, and then you can't basically laser scan them. And it's like, okay, but the tangents we went down were a little extreme. They did provide color that, hey, look, they're trying to do everything to save every penny. Right? There is good to see past this. Elon is not wrong to say that there is massive price elasticity in cars. That is correct. And remember, I've said this for a very long time. Tesla only has pricing power to the extent that it is a car. I believe Tesla has the most pricing power in cars. But cars in general are just a cyclical business. Interest rates up, as Elon says, affordability down. And he's not wrong. It's harder for people to get financing. Interest rates going up are a problem. They just went up even more. Q4 is probably going to be wrecked. That's not great. And Elon is so concerned about the state of the economy that they're like, you know what, we're going to kind of like put on hold Giga Mexico, and we'll do some of the long-term planning, like, you know, the landscaping or this, that, or like not the landscaping, the land development, right? But what do we end up getting? Well, we'll probably just wait a little bit. In fact, we've got plenty of room at Giga Texas. Yeah, that's how the earnings call went today. Don't mind the new announcement in Texas or in Mexico. We got plenty of room in Texas. That should tell you a lot of how this call went. Okay, so yes, we had energy beats on revenues here for energy, but guess what? CFO comes in, the new CFO, and says, hey, you know, that was mostly mega packs, and that's going to be lumpy. So what does that tell you for Enphase? Oh, no, not more pain. No. Maybe in terms of numbers. But remember, here's the thing, and I believe this. I think the stock market is going to say, as soon as we hit peak rates, that's an inflection point, and then cuts, that's an inflection point in the stock market. And the question is, did we bottom last year before all of this? You know, are we now in sort of like a lull, and do we, you know, are we volatile until we actually get into rates where we get some more lows? Entirely possible. Who knows? Crystal ball. Nobody knows. But so far, the economy's really been holding up. You look at it, it's like, sure, we've had some banking crises, but nothing the Fed couldn't print its way out of. But anyway, we've talked about that plenty of other times before. So let's focus here on Tesla. Tesla specifically suggesting that regarding the tax credit, some folks are actually, you know, it'll be a benefit if some people can actually get the credit up front. And that'll help because people are looking at their cash outlay. How much money am I taking out of my pocket to actually get into a car? Supercharging stations up 24% annualized, slowing down from 30%. You also have a vehicle production annualized based on September's figures, sitting at about 516,000. But if we miss on Q4 deliveries, we'll have an even wider gap of inventory after Q4. Probably will sit there until until rates come down. Cybertruck production, Elon Musk thinks we can get to about 250,000 units of Cybertrucks produced sometime in 2025. That would be somewhere about 18 months to 30 months out, 2.5-ish years out. He thinks anything slower than about 18 months out after the delivery event would be disappointing, but it is possible. They do talk a lot about cost savings. They're really worried about the cost, probably because costs are not coming down anywhere near as fast as prices for the cars are coming down. That's compressing margin. That's not good. Margin compression, which again, feels like shrinking pee-pee, but relative to all cars, that's true. That is true on all cars. The question is, of all the cars, which still has the best pricing power? Well, of course it's Tesla. The question then is, okay, well, when do you buy? Do you just wait for a new low? Which I don't think will happen. Or do you buy and know you're going to be sitting in it, not sure when to time the bottom until we actually get rates coming down? That's the big thing here. So as far as some of the other commentary we got, talked about the Optimus being, you know, having a kill switch. You know, we've always talked about this as well, something that's hard programmed in. Talk about how FSD and the neural nets that the Optimus robots are being trained in is basically baby AGI, which for those CPAs here, that's not adjusted gross income. That stands for artificial general intelligence. That's basically what
Marcel
they're teaching.
tells me
A
you're
lot of
our
long-run
resident
bullishness from
humanitarian.
Elon on artificial
You couldn't have
intelligence.
chosen a better
But
recipient
boy,
for
the
your
amount of
kindness.
bearishness
This
that we
guy's a
got out of
lawyer
him,
for the Duggins.
this is like
Maybe
peak
he'll give us a
Elon
discount
Bear.
on my friggin' gas.
You know what I think?
Here's his address.
Honestly,
Get him home.
all right, this is gonna sound mean, but you ready for this? Go on. Maybe it'll be like, Kevin, you're an asshole for saying that. Yeah. Go. Ready for it? Elon needs to get his ass off of Twitter and Diablo. I said it. He's turning into a bear because of Twitter and Diablo. Just saying. I don't know. I think they could have ran that earnings call a lot better. And I think Twitter is making him extremely bearish. The fact that Elon is sitting there basically quoting the bear arguments. Oh, you know, credit card debt's at all-time highs. Well, no shit it is. Did you try inflation adjusting it? No, of course not. Oh, national debt's going up. I know. Do we need more bear arguments? We already know. We're here at the Tesla earnings call, not a lesson in macroeconomics. Well, it's interesting. He's not wrong. Things get a lot more expensive when interest rates are higher. But, you know, I'm a big fan of just calling it like it is. And if I'm coming to the Tesla earnings call, you know, you can talk your macro stuff and your woke stuff or anti-woke stuff wherever you want. But I don't think Tesla earnings call is the place. If I were a Tesla board member, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Why are you dodging the SEC and basically crying on the earnings call? Like, put some pants on and run it as a professional call. And I know some people like, Kevin, you're the one who makes pee-pee jokes all the time. Yeah, what's wrong with that? I like big pee-pee, okay? I really like big, juicy pricing power stocks. I like that, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I'm also not in a professional earnings call with Wall Street analysts. It's a different setting. It's a YouTube channel. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But this is like a slap in the face to the investors, the way these earnings calls are managed. Like, Zach at least had his shit together. Anyway. Elon talks about large price elasticity again. That's true for all cars. We'll give him some defense here. That is true for all cars. Obviously, he compares himself out to like a RAV4, and it's like, why would anybody buy a RAV4 if you could buy a Tesla? Well, maybe because of your tweeting, people will buy the RAV4, which is exactly what somebody who shall remain unnamed in my family did. You know, they're like, I will pay more for a RAV4, not to support that
celebrities we had to scrape off the floor of the VIP
Sorry,
lounge.
bro. Maybe
Now,
if you had somebody actually telling you the truth, you'd stop.
Back in style. And I mean, there's assholes.
Anyway, then he's
there's assholes.
complaining about, oh my god, I can't believe Credit Suisse went away.
Definitely
And the credit situation is getting worse. Commercial real estate's doomed. And I think there are quite a few more shoes to drop. Those were quotes from him. His words, not mine. And I get it. It went through 2009 and it was an SH9T storm. I get it. But bro, we're here for the Tesla earnings call. Not the what you read on Twitter theory of what's going on in macro. J-Pal speaks tomorrow. Maybe he could wipe Elon's butt or change Elon's diaper or something. I don't know. Talks about enormous challenges and reaching volume, really tempering expectations for the Cybertruck, really making sure that people realize the Cybertruck is a brand new system for designing a car, creating a whole new car with an exoskeleton that's a lot harder to manufacture. Probably not going to be cash flow positive for about 18 months, he warns, which in Elon time probably means like 2.5 years. He does think it'll be the best product ever, and I don't disagree. Like, don't get me wrong, I can bitch about Elon all day long, and I do. But I love Tesla. I love the people at Tesla. As interest rates rotate down and markets start recognizing that treasuries have bottomed, I think Tesla's going to do exceptionally well. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm invested in Tesla, Enphase, NVIDIA. I strongly believe it. That doesn't mean I can guarantee it. In fact, I have a little laminated disclaimer here. Keep in mind that even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, licensed real estate broker, and becoming a licensed stockbroker, this video is not personalized financial or real estate advice for you. This video is generalized perspective. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. And if you want to invest in HouseHack, go to househack.com because the deadline is November 1st. By far, when we survey people, there are two big reasons. They're like, if anybody can do it, they're like, I want to bet on Kevin for the real estate startup. Or the second reason is they want to diversify. Those are the two big reasons we're getting from people. for house hack. There's just some things that we're hearing in surveys. No guarantees. Obviously, investing in startups is risky. Read about it at househack.com. Read the circular there. This is not a solicitation. Anyway, talks about tempering Cybertruck expectations. It's difficult to make cars like this. Dodged the question on how many deliveries they would have. He literally says, we basically dug our own grave on the Cybertruck, and nobody digs their own grave better than themselves. The next generation vehicle will be a lot easier to produce, like the smaller two-door version of a Tesla, the Model 2, because there won't be large hot stamping, new high-voltage architectures. It'll be much simpler and easier to ramp faster. 4680s, working on increasing it. I really think the 10-year Treasury spike just killed orders in October. Like, I think orders hit a wall in October. I'm not sure about that, but to me, orders hit a freaking wall. That's what he's implying. It's not good. Not good. Then he also walked back on the 50% CAGR target, even though in their earnings presentation, they literally have written, we're still targeting 50% year-over-year growth. Elon's like, well, law of large numbers. That's going to get harder. Well, duh. I mean, I've been targeting for about the last year and a half, like 30% growth for Tesla. But it still kind of is interesting to see Elon walk that one back. He does say there is something to be gained from advertising. Thank you, Elon. Thank you very much. He says that the problem, though, is if you're showing people things they can't afford, it doesn't help them much. So once again, he's complaining about interest rates. I don't know if I fully agree with that, because I don't think people realize how inexpensive the Tesla has gotten. Then again, nobody's telling it like it is to Elon. And I know Elon, he'd probably be like, whoa, what do you know? You got on YouTube or whatever. It's fine, man. Whatever, dude. There are millions of people who have no fracking clue that the damn car can basically drive itself 95% of the time. They don't know how safe it is. They don't know how good it is. They don't know what the range is. They don't know anything about it. There are millions of people like that who are perfectly capable of affording the Tesla. I mean, I don't know where you're advertising, Elon. Maybe you're advertising in, somewhere where the demographics aren't that ideal. I don't know. He needs a manager. Poor guy. Anyway, too stressful. I don't know, man. Optimus, okay, we talked about that. Significant cost declines. R&D will keep going up. Yeah, R&D blew up like 24% quarter over quarter. That's like doubling on an annualized rate. A lot of negativity from this earnings call. Tesla currently trading at about a 2.5 PEG ratio with 28% growth projected by the street. I'm at about 30%. A lot of negativity. All I can say is I hope J-Pow is watching. And I don't know. But I'm going to keep eating this cookie now. And we'll keep the Dragon Dagger poison tip away from Elon, because I don't know. He's not stable right now. Poor guy. I really feel bad for him. But he probably hates me. And that's okay. Like, I'm just gonna give my opinion. I'm tired of people actually affecting my mood. Like, I used to care. People would be like, Kevin, I can't believe you said this. Now people say that, I go, oh, maybe they have a point, Okay, maybe they have a point. But most of the time it's like, yeah, I don't care. It's like, I'll read the comments, as I'm curious about the perspective, but somebody's like, I disagree with you, you're a douchebag. It's like, okay.
Always gotta have a mag of that.
But at least the perspective is out there. Because if you just say what everybody loves, what's the point of watching? You gotta have some realism. You gotta have the balls to say what you think. Be a little bitch.
Take your time. You own the place after all. Yeah, I don't fuck with weed. Makes me anxious. But every time Lamar walks in smiling like that, I want to try it again. Stay strapped.
Hey, Monty, you there?
Yep. What's up?
Hey, look, tell my partner what you was telling me just now.
Okay, the marina's CCTV feed shows the promoter guy has a green Taurus speedboat. If you can find it, the GPS system should tell us where it's been.
And look, if the phone ain't there, you can bet there's going to be something to lead us to the party where he's going to do the leak at.
GPS will have a waypoint or tracker on where he's been going. Super yacht offshore. I don't know how these promoters make so much cheese.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. Get on board and snoop around, but don't snoop your ass into a bullet, alright? These yachts is crawling with fucking security.
Taxes are up.
So, boss, don't you own one of these yachts too? Not that I'm looking for your personal data or anything.
Hey, good luck with that. I mean, they nice and all, but from what I've seen, shit, yachts bring their own kind of fucking trouble.
Send me a pic. Maybe something that'll tell us where he's planning to throw this thing.
Por favor, no me mates, no me mates. Dios, no.
Likely. I'll have a look. Hey, don't you have a penthouse there?
Wait, man, you got a penthouse and a super yacht? Man, who the fuck did you rob?
According to my research, everybody.
Ha! Now that's why you my motherfucking partner. Okay, but look, get your ass up out of here. Cause we got more motherfuckers to rob real soon.
MMI, we expect the I'll look into it.
I got stuck coming from Del Perro. The boulevard was all kinds of backed up.
Hello, Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help? Thank you, sir. Your spectacular aircraft is now ready for you at our nearest airfield. Call again. Goodbye.
CIA. It's a Merryweather hangar. Ho-ho, these are bad people. Soldiers of fortune, scumbags for hire. Actually, in my dealings with them, they've been perfectly pleasant. You hired Merryweather? Yeah, of course. Really helped with our third-tier territory rollout. So much local knowledge in traditionally business-averse economies. By local knowledge, you mean who to bribe and who to kill? They're marvelous consultants. You know Don Percival? No. Great guy. Kite surfer. Deeply moral. Yeah, he's an inspiration to us all. Totally. The man disrupted the military sector, brought B2B outsourcing to the geopolitical sphere. I mean, what is Merryweather if not a lean, mean, results-focused, disruptive business tools startup? Percival, the CEO, has become a personal friend. He's a doer and a visionary. And a war criminal. Can't forget that. Please, I'd love to try and see this from your blinkered, Stone Age, moralist perspective. But right now, we've got $50 million worth of tilt-rotor aircraft to take off them, right? Yeah. Glad we can agree. Head out to the airport. We're going after the Avenger dual-capability aircraft. Its rotors tilt so you can fly it like a plane or a chopper. And if you don't want to fly at all and you want to man the gun turrets, it's got autopilot. Exactly the versatility you'll need in a combat situation. But when we get it, we can use it to launch our operation on the big submarine off the coast. You know, the one controlled by a rogue Russian military unit that's probably armed with nuclear warheads that we're being paid to do something about for some reason. Yeah, cool. Government funding sure does fill up the bank account. This must be what it feels like to be a corn farmer. Heavily subsidized, only with extra murdering. Defend yourselves until we can figure out a next step. I'm working on it. Hold them off. Hang in there. I've almost got something. Bringing up the schematics for the hangar. Find a way for them to get that power back up. How you doing in that shootout? I'm having a hell of a time making sense of these schematics. We're all busy. Here. The backup generators are up on the gantries. Okay, people. Get up there and turn them on. Stairs to the south. That's your quickest route to the backup generators. Get up there. Get that power back on.
Chopper!
You should have eyes on the Avenger now. Shit, they cut the power! It's an ambush. Remain calm. Defend yourselves until we can figure out a next step. I'm working on it. Hold them off. Hang in there. I've almost got something. Bringing up the schematics for the hangar. Find a way for them to get that power back up. Here. The backup generators are up on the gantries. Okay, people. Get up there and turn them on. Stairs to the south. That's your quickest route to the backup generators. Get up there. Get that power back on. should have eyes on the Avenger now.
My God!
Shit, they cut the power! It's an ambush. Remain calm. Defend yourselves until we can figure out the next step.
You fucking bum.
Here. The backup generators are up on
Let's
the
push ass on down, bitch ass nigga.
Stairs to the south. That's your quickest route
Sorry,
to the backup
motherfucker.
generators. Get up there. Get that power back on.
You the one brought this motherfucker. This son of a bitch ain't did shit but die.
You should have eyes on the Avenger now. Shit, they cut the power! It's an ambush. Remain calm. Defend yourselves until we can figure out a next step. I'm working on it. Hold them off. Here. The backup generators are up on the gantries. Okay, people. Get up there and turn them on. Stairs to the south. That's your quickest route to the backup generators. Get up there. Get that power back on.
That motherfucker ain't doing nothing but just stand the fuck over there like a dumbass. That dude never died the whole time and then went AL fucking K because he's a jackass. Sorry, motherfuckers. Wanna shoot everything till it's time to fucking shoot some. Then it turn out you a bitch and a half. Hate you sorry motherfuckers. You wanna run around in the session and shoot at motherfucker while they ain't looking. Now it's time for you to shoot something. You a piece of shit. Ain't good for nothing. Sorry motherfucker. I told you that motherfucker ain't doing nothing standing there. You could have launched this shit, just me and you. That sorry motherfucker just wasting our lives.
You should have eyes on the Avenger now. Shit, they cut the power! It's an ambush. Remain calm. Defend yourselves until we can figure out a next step. I'm working on it. Hold them off. Hang in there. I've almost got something. Bringing up the schematics for the hangar. Find a way for them to get that power back up. How you doing in that shootout?
Told you that.
Had a hell of a time making sense of these schematics.
Yeah, he's wasting our time, boy. I'm trying to pair this shit and get the glitch, man.
Yeah, he gonna get us fucked up, bro. He ain't gonna never waste my life.
Yeah, he ain't even playing, bro.
Okay, people, get up there and turn them on. Stairs to the south. That's your quickest route to the backup generators.
After this, we continue.
Get that power back on.
This person continue on the next one, and then lost the door. I'll go back with you. Technically, 2 people can do this. Continue, bro. Just restart it.
You should have eyes on the Avenger now.
I'm about to quit, bro.
Man, I told you to press continue last time and then restart it.